Hi everyone, I'm Dennis, and I'm gonna be the presenter of this explanation, whose title is Learning Styles and Strategies. But I would like to start with a very interesting quote that caught my attention. It was written by Leonardo da Vinci, which is said, learning never exhausts the mind. So, as we know, humans always learn, okay? Learning is always present in our lives. So, for the next slide, I would like to focus on what are learning styles. Well, learning styles, according to Noonan, defines a learning style as a natural, habitual way that we go about learning. What does it mean? So it means that learning always focuses on the way how students find more attractive to learn and get information. So I think that I really consider that teacher's job goes beyond classrooms. So what does it mean? Because teachers have to seek for strategies um, and identifying the way how our students learn because of each of them is a different world. Okay, they have very different ways to learn. So in the next slide, you can see clearly four different styles that are actually very accurate to present information. One of them is visual. So as we clearly see, those are actually ways how visual strategy works. Okay, as you can see here is charts, graphs, graphic organizers, and so on. On the other hand, we have auditory, so it means like children learn how with read louds, listening centers, discussions, etc. And also we have kinesthetic, which is about incorporating body movement. Okay, they learn through movement, through, for example, we can actually focus on physical education, so they learn a lot about that because they always move. Okay. And also we have the read and write, which is actually the cognitive. So it is about note taking, okay, when where actually students need to think a little bit more, okay? So according to Christensen, as we can see here, Christensen have identified three different learning styles. One of them is cognitive. So in this style, learners process, understand, and think about information. But in sensory, in this style, learners prefer to take information through their senses. What does it mean? Through seeing, through smelling, through touching, through hearing. All right. And also, finally, we have personality. This style shows that personal characteristics affect how learners approach tasks. So, let's focus on cognitive style first. So we have six different subdivisions. So one of them is the field dependent. So they work well when the information is shown within context. And on the other hand, field independent, they work well with a task that is shown step by step. Analytic, they prefer to work independently, going at their own pace. But global, they prefer to work in groups. They have a sense of teamwork, they have a sense of collaboration. We have the reflective, they work well when enough time is given to think and process information. All right. They always takes time. Okay. And also they tend to use extra time to think. Impulsive, we have they tend to be faster thinkers and risk takers, challenging themselves. They like challenges. All right. We also have the sensory style, which is about, we have two subdivisions, the environmental and the perceptual. In the environmental, the physical is that they need to be in a good environment conditions. What does it mean? The classroom temperature, the classroom lighting, okay? They always focus on that. The sociological means that the relationship between the environment. So what does it mean? How is their relationship? How do they get along with the rest of the class, the classmates? The perceptual, we have the visual, the auditory, the tactile, and kinesthetic. The visual, we have the visual aids, images, diagrams, and so on. The auditory is spoken information. They actually learn through discussions, maybe. The tactile, the hands-on activity, and hands-on project where they actually they can touch the resources and so on. And the kinesthetic, it's a movement or physical activity, as we can see in this picture, right? They are actually they're moving, and also in this picture we have the visual one. And okay, let's move to the personality style. We have the tolerance of ambiguity. They tend to be problem solvers, and they see solutions for everything. For every problem, they see solutions. And the right and left hemisphere dominance. So we know that our brain is divided in two, the right and the left. The left is more analytical, visual, as we can see in the picture. But in the right brain, in the right side, it's more interactive and auditory, as we can see here, arts and so on. Okay. I would like to present the types of learning strategies with this quote. Good language learners are able to reflect on and articulate the strategies they use. And they can adapt these strategies to different learning tasks. We have five different types of learning strategies, which is the cognitive. It is based on thinking-based strategies. The interpersonal, learning through interactions with others. The linguistics use language itself as a tool to learn more language, more vocabulary, and so on. Affective, it is about managing emotions, attitude, and motivation. And the creative involve generating original ideas and thinking out of the box. So what does it mean? We have some examples over here. Cognitive, we can see classifying and predicting, for example, classifying nouns, verbs, adjectives, predicting what comes next. Okay, if they today they learned about nouns, probably tomorrow they're learning about adjectives or verbs. Okay, interpersonal, cooperating, role playing, cooperating in teamwork, group works, role playing if they have to act out a situation. Linguistic, we have the practicing, summarizing, scheming, and affecting we have the self-evaluating, the reflection, and creative brainstorming ideas. Okay, they can create mind mapping and etc. On the other hand, but this is the last but not least, young children who are encouraged to think about what they have learned develop a deeper understanding of their own strengths and weaknesses leveraged. So we're gonna focus here on strategies for teaching children. Okay, as you know, children tend to be different from teenagers and adults, so they have a different way to learn. So we have the social and affective. So I focus on examples here, like a think, pair, share, peer tutoring. Like they work in the classroom, they work in groups, so they can develop here the social and affective strategy. What about the awareness and raising? Spot the difference, language patterns, discovery tags, sorting words by rule, pipelining patterns in stories. The metacognitive, we have the learning journals before and after goal setting. Before I didn't know um, how to use synonyms, but now I can use synonyms well. So this is the cognitive that they can identify the before action and the after action. Self checklist, the traffic light reflection, easy is green, red is hard. The director cognitive, we can see the repetitions and practice drills, the drawing and labeling, and so on. All right. So these are my reference where I got the information from. So I really hope you like this information, this explanation of our topic, which is about learning styles and strategies. Thank you very much.